Hey, what's up, y'all? It's D about to react to another impressive vid. This is titled Brandy exposes Boyz II Men's Wanya for grooming her. Kobe Bryant knocked out Wanya for Brandy. Oh, we're bringing up some 90s tea. Yes, I would like to know what happened. I do recall hearing something a while ago about that they used to date, but I didn't know that she was getting groomed. That's really sad. Let's see what's going on. Let's watch.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Impressive channel. Now Brandy released her memoir Phases, and she talked about her relationship with the singer Wanya from Boyz II Men. And at the time Brandy started dating Wanya, Brandy was only 16, and Wanya was 22 years old. Okay, so it was
you fucking sicko
relationship considering the age gap between them. Wanya was grown. He should not have been messing with a teenage girl.
Ew,
but unfortunately, relationships like this were not super uncommon.
They're still not uncommon. This industry is fucking disgusting. They treat these children in the industry like they're adults, and nobody seems to care, and everybody just lets this happen like it's okay.
And Brandy actually talked about it in her book. She said how a lot of times the guys got passes for dating younger women, or girls I should say, while the girls got shamed for it. They were called fast. People villainized them. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with Aaliyah and R. Kelly. Aaliyah got so much backlash over her marriage to R. Kelly that people in the industry wanted to distance themselves from her. Meanwhile, they overlooked the fact that R. Kelly, who was dang near 30 years old, married a 15-year-old girl. I mean, it was disgusting.
Gets the backlash?
What was surprising to me is really how after it all came out, it was really kind of like Aaliyah got villainized somehow.
Yeah, she got blamed.
That's true. Yeah, and that's the part that I never understood, and that's what made the transition to the second album very difficult. You know, except for a few relationships with Jermaine Dupri and Puffy, it was hard for us to get producers.
So you think y'all like had been blackballed once people started?
It felt like it. That's what it felt like, and
that is crazy.
I just didn't understand why they were upset with Baby Girl.
It's really a shame, and I hate to bring that up in this video, but it does kind of mirror what Brandy went through. Now, Brandy didn't go through the same scrutiny, but she faced a lot of shame over that relationship with Wanya, and she was painted like she was a fast girl, when in reality she was a young girl who was taken advantage of, and I want to talk about that. So in the book, Brandy spoke about how Wanya basically reached out to her. She was a big fan of his, and he was a fan of hers too. And Brandy kind of thought, okay, he just admired her talent and he wanted to help mentor her because she's a new rising star. Also, the relationship was meant to be for business. Like, Boyz II Men was already on the scene, so they kind of came in and
he was the most busted one. Not that it matters.
Business, like.
I ain't all busted. Never mind.
Boyz II Men was already.
And you know what? I'm gonna talk shit because they all are trifling as hell, and I'm sure his bandmates they knew, obviously. So for them to just be okay with this is crazy. I would tell him like, bro, what the fuck is you doing? That's a little girl. You 20 fucking 2. You dating a 15-year-old? We got all these women available to us that we can, we have access to on the road, wherever, and you are going after a 15-year-old? That is so gross.
Already on the scene, so they kind of came in and co-signed Brandy. Wanya hopped on Brandy's song, the remix to her song "Broken Hearted." Also, Boyz II Men had Brandy open for them on tour, and Boyz II Men even came out to Brandy's birthday party event and sang happy birthday to her. So the connection was meant to be for business, but Wanya crossed those boundaries, and unfortunately he took advantage of Brandy's emotions. Brandy fell in love with him, and she gave up her virginity to him. And she said that she was even sneaking around behind her parents' back to be with him. Like, they didn't know the nature of their relationship at first. But it got so bad that Wanya would put Brandy down, criticize her, say why she can't sing like other female singers, making her feel even more self-conscious and insecure because she was already getting compared to some of her other peers in the industry. So the fact that Wanya was over here criticizing her too. It was a lot for her to handle. And on top of that, Wanya was cheating on her with other women.
Of course
she had to deal with the infidelity of a grown man. And it affected her self-esteem too. In fact, Wanya cheated on her with another singer named Adina Howard.
Oh,
and
shit.
that situation got so messy to the point that the executive, Sylvia Rohn, had to step in. And Adina didn't like that. And she said some things that cost her her career, essentially.
Two young ladies allowed their egos to get in the way and were kind of going through it about a guy.
And that conflict caught the attention of Adina's and Brandy's label exec.
I can be a
Sylvia
freaking
Rohn.
There probably was an exchange of words for Adina not to focus on Wanya.
Mom used to listen. Wait, Mom used to play that song, and she had another song, T-shirt in my panties. She was ratchet.
It called Adina, and Adina opened up like she normally would, except for she had some choice words in there for Sylvia and for Brandy. Well, that pissed Sylvia off. She was on fire.
As a result, the release date for Adina's album was delayed indefinitely.
I said something very inappropriate about the head of the label, and she pulled up the emergency brake, shut everything down.
That story is messy, but yeah, Adina lost her career all because she was competing with a teenage girl over.
How old was she? Was she a teenager?
It's just messy. It's really, really messy. And Brandy is done protecting Wanya because over the years he has said some things regarding their relationship that has really triggered her. Like, for example, what he said on The Breakfast Club. Like, that whole interview was crazy. I mean, they were laughing about it. Charlamagne was joking about it. Like, it was just disgusting.
Wanya was banging Brandy.
Brandy.
He left her lonely, brokenhearted.
Yeah, bro. No, I didn't actually leave it.
He was teaching radio how to do videos.
They know she was underage. Because I didn't know. Maybe they didn't know. But I mean, this is still gross. But I think it's important to know if they knew that she was underage.
Brandy even said her behind the music that you broke her heart because you fell in love with somebody else.
I mean, you only fall in love with somebody. You only fall out of love with somebody else if somebody makes you fall out of love. Mm-hmm. You know, so.
Oh my God! What the fuck? Shut up! That is. You only fall out of love with somebody if somebody makes you fall out of love. Talk about zero accountability. How I'm gonna make you fall out of love with what? I made you? That's crazy. That's your own doing. And obviously you can fall out of love with somebody because it's like, okay, I no longer want to be with you, or you're not the person I thought that you were. Sure, say that, but to be like, you can only fall out of love if they make you know. You can also fall out of love if you are interested in somebody else. Or, you know, you just want to go your separate ways, but it doesn't mean that they made you fall out of love with them. Like, I think that's just a wild way to word it.
If that's what she said, then
that's political. I like that.
I can't, I can't contest to her view about it. I can just only live by my view.
Revolt.
They were saying she was really young when y'all dated.
Yeah, she was. Not that young. No.
She said she was,
yeah, that young. She says 15 is that young, you fucking pedos.
It was 15, and she had to keep it a secret because she was so young.
See, we did the thing. We did the thing when she was like 16, 17, around that time, you know.
So you were still a boy too.
I wasn't old.
But even when she turned 16, 17, you just got older too. So she was 16 and then you were 23. 17 and you were 24. What are we talking about? You still were much older than her. She's still a teenager. And you a man well into his 20s. Trying to minimize it.
I wasn't like 38 years old now like that.
Look at him. I wasn't 38. I can't stand him. I didn't know this about him.
She was old enough to get it.
Ew.
Was it legal in the state y'all was in?
I mean, we was always in different states.
This is not funny. This is gross. Angela.
We didn't do it in the states that it was legal. It was illegal.
Nice.
No.
And what really like grosses me out about how some of these men talk is because if somebody was talking about your fucking daughter like this, or your mama or your sister, you would be tight. But it's okay to do it when it's like, oh, look, we cool disrespecting other people's daughters and their moms and their fucking sisters. But when it comes to mine, no, we can't do that now. It's like, nah, this is somebody's sister, daughter. Like, that's fucked. That's really nasty. Would you want your 16-year-old, 15-year-old fucking a grown ass man and you laughing about it? Just weird.
You know what I mean? It was a time. It was a relationship. It grew and it ungrew. I guess you could say that.
Squirted and unsquirted.
Squirted and unsquirted. I like that.
Brandy and I were friends in the beginning. Her mother and reached out to me, as well as my manager reached out to Brandy because Brandy was a big fan of mine. This young lady was pretty cool. Now I was young at the time. I wasn't 30 nothing. What happened?
Why he keeps saying that? He's making himself sound so guilty. I wasn't 30. I was 24. But like, what? You still were much older. I'm tired of egghead.
Actually, she became kind of like my little protege. You know what I mean? My mom and I wrote the theme song to the Brandy show. So Brandy and I were really, really close. When it came time for Brandy to go on her prom, she was my girlfriend, and her mom and we both made it so that Brandy was able to go on the prom with Kobe Bryant. Okay, when it came time for Brandy to introduce herself to the world, I'm the one that actually put her on the Boyz II Men tour. Once she turned of age, we actually fell in love. Now, we were young. You know what I mean? Regardless of anything, my age, her mother was definitely, a part of our relationship. Her mother and father was a part of our relationship. They allowed me to guide Brandy and to help her through her career. They understood that we had grown close, and that's what it was.
So yeah, Wanya was doing a lot of talking, and Brandy didn't appreciate this. Now, I will say, if the parents knew about Brandy and Wanya's relationship, the responsibility has to be on them too. And Brandy did say that her parents confronted her about the relationship, so they weren't happy, but they probably grew to accept it because Wanya was helping Brandy get connections in the industry. But still, they should have intervened and stopped this relationship sooner because there's no excuse. But that doesn't change the fact that Wanya came in and took advantage of Brandy. He wasn't a young child. He was 22 years old, so he was old enough to know what he was doing, and he took advantage of her. Brandy was really hurt by this relationship. Like, it really affected her for a very long time. And she talked about it. She said, for years, I struggled with how I was treated in this relationship. He saw a 15-year-old girl with rising fame and admiration for his talent, and I believe he deliberately took advantage. This was a 22-year-old man who I believe knew exactly what he was doing when he pursued an underage girl. Looking back, it seems like he chose this moment carefully, reaching out to me when I was young, newly successful, and vulnerable to the attention of someone I idolized. At the time, it felt like a fairy tale. Now I see it as a beginning of a calculated courtship of a teenage girl by a grown man who knew exactly the effect his attention would have.
Drag him!
She also said there have been plenty of cruel jokes at my expense over the years, each one a fresh wound on scars that never fully healed. Being taken advantage of as an immature teenager and then having it thrown in your face for the next 30 years is a kind of cruelty only reserved for women. The shame ends here. The silence ends here. I was not a fast girl with a crush. I was not a dramatic teenager who couldn't handle rejection. I was not an unstable, obsessive fan. I was a child. He was an adult. And it's time the world understood the difference.
Come on, Brandy.
Period. Now, this is a little off topic, but the comedian and actor Spanky Hayes actually said that Kobe Bryant knocked out Wanya. So at the time Brandy was dating Wanya, she actually went to the prom with Kobe Bryant and they formed a friendship. I think Kobe really liked her. He said he had a crush on her, and he allegedly got into it with Wanya over her too.
I was on Moesha a lot. I did a lot of background work for Moesha, and then he went with Brandy. That was his girlfriend. They went to the prom or some shit. Yeah, and I seen him sock Wanya from Boyz II Men in the mouth over her with a cast on. He had a cast on his hands. Just socked him out. Like right there,
Yeah, Brandy T told us about that. It said that Kobe just went off on set real quick.
Yeah, but he would be there. He would be there all the time. So, and then Wanya was like...
He was protecting her because he knew he was a pedo. Period, Kobe. R.I.P.
Trying to Brandy, or maybe that was his girlfriend, maybe. But Kobe just came and took it and socked him. Bang! It's the end of the road. So yeah, I was there. I was right there. I said,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
That end of the road joke is crazy. But yeah, I don't know.
I feel like to do an interview with him didn't even catch that.
It's true or not, but it sounds believable. It sounds believable. I will say Brandy had all the guys after her. Like she was the
that girl.
She didn't have to do the chasing. And I know people want to paint it like, oh, she was getting around. Like, no, like these guys wanted to be around her. But I think the story with her and Wanya is very disappointing to hear. And I'm glad that Brandy had the courage to call him out because there's no point in protecting him. Like, he affected her life in a major way.
Sure he is.
And he had no business pursuing her.
Glad his comments.
But anyway, tell me what y'all think about
Pedo, egghead Pedo. Look at this egghead. This is sad as hell. And I wonder, does he have daughters now? You know, because that would be a question I would want him to answer. Would you be okay with your 15-year-old daughter dating a 22, 23-year-old man? So you trying to normalize it and be like, oh, no, it wasn't like that. And we had a friendship first. And when she became of age, you tried to switch it up on a Breakfast Club. You didn't say that. Talking about y'all would go to different states to have sex because it was legal in certain states. Like, you're just gross. This is just nasty. I didn't need to know this, but I am glad that she exposed him because this definitely needs to be put out there more, and it shouldn't be normalized in the industry at all. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.